Why do you feel uneasy, even when your life seems okay? Why does the future feel heavier than it used to? Why are so many people your age feeling anxious, restless, or mentally exhausted without a clear reason? And what if I told you, it's not just in your head? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand what's happening to your mind, but also how to stay calm, keep growing, and move toward success, even in uncertain times. There is a quiet psychological shift happening across the world right now. It's not loud like breaking news. It doesn't trend like viral drama, but it's affecting millions of people at the same time in ways that feel deeply personal and confusing. You wake up, check your phone, and before your brain has even fully processed the day, it's already scanning headlines, updates, alerts. Somewhere in the world there's tension, conflict, uncertainty. Economies shift, prices rise, people debate, speculate, worry. And even if you scroll past it quickly, even if you don't engage deeply, your brain notices. It always does. Human brains are not designed to ignore potential threats. They are designed to detect them, analyze them, and prepare for them. This was useful when threats were immediate and physical: a predator, a storm, a visible danger, something you could run from or fight. But now the threats are different. They are distant, complex, and constant. You can't fight them. You can't escape them. And yet your brain keeps trying to respond. So what happens? It enters a state psychologists often describe as low-grade survival mode. Not panic, not crisis, but a continuous background alertness that never fully switches off. This is why you might feel tired even after resting. This is why your mind jumps to what if scenarios about the future. This is why focusing feels harder than it used to. Your brain is not broken, it's adapting. Think about this for a moment. Previous generations experienced uncertainty too, but not like this. Not at this scale, not at this frequency, and definitely not delivered directly into their hands every hour of every day. Today, you are aware of global events in real time. You see economic changes as they happen. You hear predictions, fears, and opinions instantly. You are connected to everything, all the time. And while that connection gives you knowledge, it also comes with a hidden cost. Your brain starts to treat the entire world as your immediate environment. That means something happening thousands of miles away can trigger the same subtle stress response as something happening right in front of you. You may not consciously feel afraid, but your body reacts. Your thoughts shift. Your sense of stability changes. This is where the feeling begins. That quiet, unexplainable unease. It shows up when you're trying to relax but can't fully switch off. It shows up when you think about your future and feel uncertain, even if things are currently okay. It shows up as a question you can't quite answer. Why does everything feel a little off? Now layer on something else. Economic pressure. Even if you're not directly struggling, you're aware of rising costs, changing opportunities, shifting job markets. You hear conversations about stability, security, survival. You see people around you trying to figure things out. And your brain does what it always does. It prepares. It starts calculating, planning, anticipating, sometimes overthinking. You might find yourself thinking about money more than you used to, thinking about long-term decisions earlier than expected, feeling like you need to have everything figured out, even when you don't. This creates a powerful psychological loop. Uncertainty leads to vigilance. Vigilance leads to mental fatigue. Mental fatigue makes everything feel harder. And when things feel harder, uncertainty feels even bigger. This is not weakness. This is pattern recognition at a global scale. There's also something else happening that most people don't notice. Your sense of control is being challenged. Humans feel safest when they believe they understand their environment, when they can predict outcomes, plan accordingly, and feel some level of certainty about what's next. But when the world feels unpredictable, that sense of control weakens. And when that happens, the brain compensates by trying to control smaller things, overthinking conversations, replaying decisions, worrying about possibilities that haven't happened yet. It's not random. It's your mind trying to create stability in a world that feels unstable. You might notice it in small ways. You check your phone more often than you need to. You think about worst-case scenarios more quickly. You feel a subtle pressure to be prepared for something, even if you don't know what. And yet on the surface, everything looks normal. This is why it's so confusing. Because nothing is wrong in a clear, obvious way, and yet something feels different. Now here, where it becomes deeply personal. This generation is experiencing a unique combination of awareness and uncertainty. You are informed, connected, and constantly exposed to the bigger picture of the world. But that also means you are carrying more mental input than any generation before. Not just your own life, but everyone else's too. You see success, failure, struggle, conflict all at once, and your brain tries to process it all, even when it doesn't need to. This creates emotional overload. And emotional overload doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like losing motivation, feeling disconnected, questioning your direction, or simply feeling tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. There's also the quiet pressure of comparison. When you're aware of so many different paths, outcomes, and possibilities, it becomes harder to feel certain about your own. You start wondering if you're doing enough, moving fast enough, choosing the right direction. And again, your brain is trying to protect you. It wants to make sure you don't fall behind in a world that feels like it's constantly shifting. But that constant checking comes at a cost. It pulls you out of the present moment and places you into a future that hasn't happened yet. This is where anxiety grows. Not from what is happening, but from what might happen. And when that might is influenced by global uncertainty, economic changes, and constant information, it becomes stronger, more persistent, more difficult to ignore. But here's something important that most people don't hear enough. Your reaction makes sense. Feeling uncertain in uncertain times is not a flaw. It's awareness. It's adaptation. It's your mind doing exactly what it was designed to do, just in an environment it wasn't designed for. The problem is not that you feel this way. The problem is that no one explains why. So people start blaming themselves, thinking they're overthinking, thinking they're not strong enough, thinking something is wrong with them, when in reality, they are responding normally to an abnormal level of constant input and uncertainty. Take a moment and think about how often you felt this recently. That quiet tension, that background worry, that feeling of needing to figure things out quickly. Now, imagine millions of people feeling the same thing at the same time. Because they are. This is not an individual experience. It's a collective psychological state. And once you see it that way, something shifts. You stop seeing your thoughts as random or personal failures. You start seeing them as patterns, as responses, as signals. And when you understand a pattern, you gain something powerful. Perspective. Perspective doesn't remove uncertainty from the world, but it changes how you experience it. Instead of feeling like you're constantly reacting, you begin to observe. Instead of being pulled into every thought, you start to question it. Is this fear based on something happening right now, or something I've absorbed from everything around me? That single question creates space. And in that space, something else becomes possible. Calm. Not because the world has changed, but because your relationship with it has. And this is where your power begins. Because even in uncertain times, you can choose how you move forward. You can still build. You can still grow. You can still create a life that feels stable from the inside, even if the outside world feels unpredictable. The first shift is learning to limit unnecessary mental noise. Not by disconnecting completely, but by becoming intentional. You don't need to consume every update to stay informed. You don't need to carry every global problem in your mind. Choosing when and how you engage with information protects your mental clarity. The second shift is grounding yourself in what you can control. Your actions, your habits, your focus. When the future feels uncertain, your daily routine becomes your anchor. Small, consistent actions create a sense of stability that your brain is searching for. Even something as simple as completing one meaningful task a day can remind your mind that progress is still happening. The third shift is training your mind to return to the present. Every time you notice your thoughts spiraling into future fears, gently bring them back. Not forcefully, but consciously. Ask yourself, what is actually happening right now? Most of the time, the present moment is far more stable than the imagined future. The fourth shift is redefining success in uncertain times. Success is no longer just about speed or constant achievement. It's about resilience, adaptability, the ability to stay steady while everything around you changes. When you shift your definition, you stop feeling like you're falling behind and start realizing you're learning how to navigate complexity. And finally, give your mind moments of real rest. Not just distraction, but genuine disconnection from pressure, silence, stillness. Even a few minutes where you're not consuming, not reacting, not thinking about what's next. This allows your nervous system to reset, something it rarely gets in a constantly connected world. These are not dramatic changes, but they are powerful ones, because they help you move from survival mode back into a state where growth is possible. And growth is still possible, even now, especially now, because the people who learn how to stay calm in uncertainty develop a strength that lasts far beyond it. They become clearer thinkers, better decision makers, more grounded individuals. And while others feel overwhelmed, they find direction. If you've been feeling off lately, if you've been questioning why things feel heavier or more uncertain, understand this. You are not alone. You are not imagining it. And you are not weak for feeling it. You are aware. You are adapting. And you are living in a time where awareness comes with a psychological weight that most people are still learning how to carry. The more you understand this, the less power that weight has over you. Because clarity replaces confusion, and understanding replaces fear. If this video helped you see your thoughts differently and gave you a sense of direction in uncertain times, subscribe to this channel and stay connected. This is where we turn confusion into clarity and help you grow, no matter what's happening in the world around you. And the next time you feel that quiet unease, that subtle tension you can't explain, remember this. Maybe the problem isn't you. Maybe it's the world you're trying to stay calm in. And maybe, just maybe, you're stronger than you think for learning how to rise in it.